start the recording, and then I'm just gonna start start the stream, and then see what's happening on the market. So, the first thing I wanted to look at is obviously BTC. Like I've had this chart on my channel for a few messages now because this is how I viewed the market, right? So I'm just gonna remake this on a clear chart to show my thought process. So let's see. If I go to, I think this chart is clear. Yeah. If I go to a clear BTC chart, and we're on the daily time frame right now. Could do it on different as well, like 3-day. I think it is 2-day. One thing I will look for when I look at charts like this and I want to get started is, well, essentially a top to bottom view, right? But I can start doing that, but I can already tell you there are essentially no harmonics here, which I would like to use. There's something very close to a shark here. Yeah, there was a shark at like the 113 is over here, the 886 is like somewhere over here, which we tapped. So there was a macro shark over here. Then after that, let's see, the thing that is most important right now is this bat pattern. So this bat pattern, and it matters specifically that it's a bat pattern. Just gonna pull the cheat sheet up. Because bat patterns have this tendency, right? Bat patterns are the only pattern with the tendency, which you call BAMM move, so a BAM move, which is a bat action magnet move, which essentially means that in a bat pattern, in an uncompleted bat, the moment you break this B line, so the line that I've drawn over here, right? The moment you break this B point over here and you go below it, price has a tendency to go towards D. So normally harmonics are not valid until you actually touch the D point. But bats are a slight exception to this rule, where bats, the moment you break it, you retest and you fail to retest, you will likely go to D. So it's very important that we have this macro bat structure going on, because this is nearly a perfect 0.5 and this is nearly a perfect 0.886. So it's not like it's a sketchy bat either, like it's a very precise bat. So if we actually reject this B point, and we start closing below and we start seeing price action below, then it is very likely, in my opinion, that we will not actually stop at this area, but that we will go to this D point instead. And the D point is somewhere over here. Shall mark as bat 886. So that was a play I'm looking for if we drop below, and you just put it below, like if we're gonna push up, we're gonna form some sort of wick over here and just put it in SFP. You just put stop loss below the wick. I mean above the wick, and you target the D point. So that is in short a bad action magnet move. Now, something else that we can use this for is if we actually reclaim the B point. From an harmonic point of view, we have essentially rejected this area over here. So this entire box we draw over here, the moment we reclaim B point, retest it, from a harmonic point of view, we have essentially SFP'd it. So that would put you set you up for a long that targets higher again. So the idea is that when we go above, we start forming a smaller harmonic and we just go up. And this would set us up for exactly the same thing, where we would put stop loss below the wick and we would target higher. And this would support the structures we have going on a lower time frame. Where if we go on a lower time frame, we have this I think it was over here. Yeah, we have this bat structure going on as well. Just gonna clear this one up real quick. we have this bet structure going on, where this was our 886, that was our first bounce. I'll remove the arrows real quick. This 886 was our first bounce. And what we essentially did is we formed a bet. We had our bet action magnet move over here. We came back, we SFP'd this area. So this would have been a good short. Or SFP'd this. We came down to the D point. We didn't actually take this short, sadly, as I was taking a break to study. When we came to the D point, we validated this. Stop loss below X. And we went to our target 1. And what is target 1, you may ask? Target 1, there are a lot of fibs here. The golden ones are important. Target 1 for an harmonic is the 0.382. So this initial reaction to the D point, to the 886, is what we call a T1 reaction. We went up after the T1 reaction. This was a good long. We then went to target 1, which is a 382 for T1 target. We drop back down. Oh. We drop back down, and here it's a thing we saw yesterday, which I tried to alert as good as possible, where if we I was using the 8, however it is, where if we go on a lower time frame, we closed within this potential reversal zone. So essentially this 886, right? This was our potential reversal zone. We entered this potential reversal zone, and what I said was, if the RSI closes above, so that was over here, right? If we can look at the RSI. If the RSI closes above this 30 level, after touching the PRC, that is when we take a long. And we didn't get that. We didn't close. We went back into the PRZ and we absolutely SFP'd it and just nuked down. Which was very sad, right? Because that is essentially the reaction we got here. And this would have been a really good short entry, but I was not awake, so I couldn't call it. But that is essentially what we were looking for, and that's why it's so important to work with triggers. So that's exactly the same thing I'm going to do here, is I'm going to wait for a trigger here to essentially either short or long this. So I'm most likely going to do this on the 1 to 4 hour, right? And just see, okay, are we actually going to SFP this? Are we going to go above? And are we going to reject this area, which it looks like we're doing. So the short is, it's called the short is slightly coming into play. Let's see where we're rejecting. Yeah, we're rejecting off the, I'll zoom in a bit. We're rejecting off the 618, we SFP the 618, and we're now retesting the 0.5. So essentially what I'm looking for is if we now close below this 0.5, that's probably where I take the short. So that would look something like this. Or alternatively, if we can, what's it called? If we can flip the 618 to support, I will probably long the 618. This highly depends on what price action is going to do in the end. But those are essentially going to be our triggers. I'll just I'll draw this back so you can see it a bit better. So essentially we either short this trigger, or we long this trigger. I don't care which one we get, because one of the two means lower prices and the other means more spot profits, right? So we either short here or we're long here. And this is a very important level for BTC, right? Because this was our last low, which SFPing this would be really good. This is our B point on the bat. And it's an important level overall. So we really need to see us reclaim it on this move before we can look for anything meaningful. If it doesn't happen, well, as I said before, if it doesn't happen, 42k is in play, in my opinion. If it doesn't happen, I'm looking for this, which is 42.5-ish. And something to support it. I've thought about it, but haven't actually charted it yet. So let's see, because we do have some kind of 5-0 structure going on. No, okay, that's too high. Yeah, so an alternative to this trigger would be if, let's say, we go on a low time frame and we start seeing bearish harmonics form. That would also work as a trigger. So I don't think we have one right now. Unless... No, we don't really. But we can use either of those as triggers. And that's for BTC specifically, right? So BTC has a lot of things going on right now with, for example, Germany selling and with some Mt. Gox payments and those kind of things. So a lot of fundamental news going on, which makes it even more important because the Mt. Gox payments have been like delayed for a bit, right? So there were some rumors that they're only gonna get their BTC be able to sell in like a decent amount of time. I think I read something about 2 months, but it could be different, of course. Hey Caleb, what's up? But things like these do play into account. Because you know that if we actually fail to reclaim this level, and we fail to reclaim this, then you would simply look for a lot lower. Like breaching this level is very important. So we essentially just need to reclaim it instantly and not actually build below. Yeah, it's going good, Caleb. It was I was explaining how we just need to, like, we essentially just need to reclaim the support because you want this, especially on the daily, right? You want this to actually just become an SFP, close above, and reclaim the range. And you don't want to close below and build, because when we start building here, we can go so much lower. To continue, I've been talking about 42.5 a lot. I see a lot of people call for like this demand zone over here and saying that we bounce here. I think it's possible, and I think that we stopped before that is a sign that a lot of people are bidding this area. But I do think that because so many people are bidding this area, that it's not actually likely to hold. So I think that if we actually touch this area, that we will most likely just bounce a little bit and then just nuke through, because there's going to be so much liquidity over there. It's going to be very easy for market makers to take out. So that's like I think this area could hold if you play it level by level. Yeah, this is your next level, right? This area around 52k. But I personally don't think it will hold for the reason that it's so, like, it's such a crowded trade, right? You think about shorting Sol here. Yeah, I'm gonna go to Sol in a bit because Sol is very interesting at the moment. Okay, so that was it for BTC. The other chart I wanted to talk about is USDT dominance. USDT dominance, I charted this Gardy a long time ago, like the moment we formed the bottom here. And I made this box with it that says this is where you buy. And why is that? That is because this is a very big Gartley, and macro Gartleys have a very good success rate. So my thesis is that we either bounce off of here, bottom of this, and just go lower, or then we go to the deep Gartley over here and then bounce lower. And you can see just how well it's reacting, right? Like, we tap the area, we tap the Gartley, and we just absolutely nuke down. Like, this candle on USDT dominance is completely disgusting. If it closes like this, or maybe even a bit lower, that is one of the most bearish candles you can see, because you just took so much liquidity and completely rejected. So I do think that if we actually manage to close the daily above on BTC and close the daily preferably below the 618 on USDT dominance, I think it's a very good sign. I think the moment that happens, you essentially have enough confirmation to start longing again. Because for now, we're just waiting until market becomes stronger. I had nearly the same thing for BTC dominance. BTC dominance tapped the shark here. That's why it started going up. So that's why alts were hit harder in the dump than BTC. But during the dump, we touched this 5-0. And this 5-0 is not the reason that we're going down. So you might see that we, if you trade, for example, the range, right? You have your range lows over here and your range highs over here. You can see that we front ran the range highs. That's because we have this 5-0 here, which is preventing us from doing that. And this is the reason why also recovering pretty well. So for this 5-0, I'm essentially looking at this area as support. I think this is where, if we keep going down on BTC dominance, I think this is the area where you want to be cautious again. That's the area where alts could take another hit. Alright then, to go to your question, let's look at Sol. I'm gonna remove this and go on a weekly first. So let's just do a top-down analysis, right? We start on a high time frame. Something important right now is Sol on a high time frame looks very good. If I take essentially everything out, I click the fibs away. If I take essentially everything out, we are still trading above 50% of our like macro range, right? From the bull market highs to the bear market lows. We are still trading above 50%. And not only that, but we also, if you're on a slightly lower time frame, we also still have this range over here, which just keep bouncing off of and keep forming new harmonics on. Like this area is a super strong support for Sol. So, would I short Sol here? On a higher time frame? No, on a higher time frame, I think Sol looks really good. I still think Sol is gonna go to, like, you can see here, 327. I also still have the short set. Like, I have a limit for this. I still think we're gonna go there on Sol, and until then, I am not that interested in shorting Sol on like a higher time frame. So on a lower time frame, let's see. Yeah, on a lower time frame, we have a bat here, and we still have a bat over here. So we have two bats that essentially have like nearly the same PRZ, which is in this area. We bounced off of this one. I think this had TP1. Yeah, so this hit TP1 over here and went back and went for the type 2. So this is essentially the same move we were looking at on BTC, where we just have this type 2 action going on with a target of this 0.618. So if we look at it on like a 4-hour to a daily time frame, no, I think Sol is going to go to the 618. That's what I'm looking at for Sol. Now, if I go on a lower time frame, I think this one starts looking a bit more interesting for shorts. Are you in Sol? Yeah, I bought spot on the dip. I'm not in a long right now. I'm not in any leverage positions right now. But for spot, I'm in ETH because we reclaim support. Yeah, Link had a really good bounce. I'm in ETH. I'm in Link. I'm in Tia. I'm in Sol. A few others. I'm in Rose. I got front run and Aave. And I think that those are the most important ones. And RNDR. Yeah, I didn't even have time to CMP. I'm so glad I had that limit set for Link, because I even forgot about the setup until the limit went off. I can show you guys what we're talking about. Me and Caleb were talking about Link a while ago, when the market was crashing, and I just turn off a bunch of fibs. So
Hello, Cassie.
yeah, hello, Kayla.
How's it going, brother? You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. It's
Yeah.
I'm I'm glad we cancelled most of the bits before that massive dump, right? And the BT long had a trigger, so it didn't go off. Because this dump is like so good for lower prices.
Oh, I'm over the moon, bro. You got to think I had sold most of my positions at the start of June, and I've been waiting patiently for alts to be at a discounted price. So, yeah, loving these prices, but as I mentioned in the chat, I'm personally waiting for that higher time frame confirmation rather than just CMPing at short-term relief. That's my personal stance. But yeah, how's everyone doing? I see we got some familiar faces in here. What's up, Shreddy? What's up, Blue? What's up, Sisso?
Yeah, no, I'm waiting with like CMP and like especially with leverage positions, right? I'm still waiting as well because
That's it, man.
there's like not enough conviction to actually like properly enter positions. So I had some stink bits set, like Link, which I completely forgot about until the orders hit, right? And
Mm-hmm.
Link just hit like nearly perfectly, and these orders are just so good. Like that dump filled so many important levels that it's so nice to see everything actually react to it.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it. At the end of the day, like, I mean, I made a post about it this morning, and I was referring to like how so many people have come and gone, right, in the crypto space. I've been trading crypto for 6 years now, and I've seen people come, they try and make fast money, and they lose money fast. It ends up the other way. So, when it comes to leverage trading in this current market, I mean, study, you know, 2021 summer, study 2022 summer, right? Like June, July is not always the greatest time to be trading crypto. People are out enjoying their summer. Institutions are taking profits. It's very choppy, right? There's a lot of manipulation. So I wouldn't recommend people to leverage trade here. If you're going to leverage trade, be managing risk correctly, stop loss to break even. Make sure you're using correct margin size because it's very choppy, guys. I'm personally waiting more for Q4 with the upcoming election and other fundamental narratives, which will spike price up, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I'm waiting for the elections as well. The elections are actually going to be so interesting because crypto is actually like like a good topic now. Because usually elections already spark like good rallies in crypto, but especially this time, I think it's going to be really good. And fundamental news like that always like heavily impacts it.
Rosie, you're a sweetheart. I appreciate that. She said, I'm glad this Q4 I'll be with Unity.
That's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, lower time frame models, whatever you can do to just consistently grow your account. But again, risk management is always something we've emphasized. It's not something which everyone listens to, but you'll learn the harder way, or you'll quit, right? And that's why I always preach. So yeah, appreciate all of you tuning in, and Grasty, please do continue with the class. Appreciate you.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for hopping on, man. Yeah. Okay, so what we were looking at on Soul, we were looking at a lower time frame, and this looks more interesting for a short. I still wouldn't take this, unless you have a good plan in mind, right? Because I'm simply not a low time frame trader, so I don't like taking it. But I think we have some sort of bet going on over here. If I take it from the high. No, not really, to be honest. I don't really see anything. Like maybe we can, because the golden line on my chart is yearly VWAP, right? This yearly VWAP. Maybe if you can like touch it and close below, you have a reason for a short because you can just like short the SFP. But Sol, as I said before, Sol is one of the stronger coins. And in general, if you want to look for shorts, because BTC is like retesting the old range lows, right? Trying to flip it to resistance, that's fine. But I think Sol is not one of the ones you want to be looking for first for a short. Because Sol, like, tapped the supported level again. And every time we tap the supported level, we're just going up. Sol's like extremely strong right now, so I would look for other coins instead. You do wait, let's see. Yeah, you do if you want to trade ICT, you do have a unicorn setup here. So I obviously don't trade ICT. I don't even have the tools marked anymore. Yeah. But if we take it like this, we have a fair value gap and we have a breaker block here. So we have an 8-hour unicorn over here. So this would be the short. Put it above the FVG and then you go down into the order block. So you have this, but I obviously don't trade ICT anymore, so I don't take this. If I'm gonna look to short, I'm gonna look for other things to short. One of the other alts I was looking at was obviously Link. We're gonna talk about Link, and Link looks really strong. Link is one of the best fundamental alts out there, right? Like fundamentally, Link is extremely strong. And Link has been in this range for so incredibly long, where every time we just tap this support and go down, tap this support and just bounce off of it, either to the range highs over here, or like to this area above. And we've built up so much liquidity in this area that, well, especially here, that the moment we wick down all the way to this demand zone over here. So Link looked really good here. And I think if we get another tap into this area, I think that would be really good for sure. An alternative would be this play over here, where we have another Guardly. This would be the technical play. So we would have a Guardly over here. And we would have a deep Guardly over here, where I would put this as my like last stink bit something. I actually think we get it. But 8.7 is an incredible level if we get it. Like being able to buy a Link at 8.7 would be absolutely ridiculous. Like I don't think we do, but if we get this, and if we actually get it, I know there's going to be a lot of fear in the market because something incredible has to happen for that, right? But if we get this, I'm going to buy a lot of Link. Like the allocation I want for Link is all going to be put in at 8.7. Even if the market is going to be like, because a lot of people are going to be scared if this happens, right? Because BTC will probably be at 42k. But levels like these, that's why I have them all marked out in advance. Levels like these would be an absolute gift. Hey, Ricking. Good to see you, man. Another one, a really interesting one I wanted to talk about is TIA. And I didn't signal this for a reason. I talked about this in chat. In the crypto chat, and I called this one on Twitter. I didn't call this for the reason that the stop loss is 50% away. So you need to like properly manage your risk to be able to take this play. But TIA is in a really good spot on our own team. So the thing is that TIA obviously is just literally building this absolutely massive frowning smiley, right? Like the chart is very sad. But on the way down, we have formed so many important levels. Like we bounce exactly off the 0.5 over here. This is the listing wick up, by the way. Where we bounce exactly off the 0.5 here. We closed exactly on the 382, and the wick is over there. And now we bounce nearly exactly on the 0.886. And we completely shot up after it. TIA, in my opinion, if it can hold this level, is like an incredible buy. Because remember, this coin can run really hard. This coin is actually like, people want this coin, but everyone's opinions about it are just completely down because, well, it's literally just going down, right? Like it's literally just going down, so people's opinions on the coin are going down because, well, they see red candles, that means it's a bad coin. But this is still the same coin as it was over here, or over here, or over here. But the thing is that this is where everyone wants to buy. But that's not why you buy, right? We still have the same coin as over here on like $20, right? But it's at $4 now. And we formed so many important levels on our way down that TIA, in my opinion, is like in an incredible spot right now. And you can argue, well, TIA is still really weak. Why would you actually want this coin? And for that, I'm going to use something which I explained in detail on the last class, which is a BTC pairing. And Tia BTC has the exact same thing. Tia BTC on the way down formed many important harmonics. Like we formed this completely massive shark, and as an entry model, we have this 1-for-1 butterfly. This is, well, it should be, yeah, it's coming close to 1618. But this is essentially just a perfect entry model. On the BTC pairing, we just touch this area as well, right? I would extend this to the right. We touch this man zone over as well. So, in my opinion on Tia, this is either the bottom or we are simply gonna do this. Like, it's either bottom or we're gonna go a lot lower, which is a very good area to buy, right? Because that's the area where you can manage your risk the best. But as I said, this is a pretty hefty stop loss, so if you want to take it, you need to be very mindful of that and going with lower size. So I really like Tia, I like this chart, but I still went in with less size because I don't want to lose 50% of my allocation with one play, right? So good coin, hefty stop loss. So keep that in mind. So Solana was really good, Tia was really good. Well, I'm gonna look at Ondo first. Ondo, really good, as always. Ondo actually filled my orders for once. But Ondo is now retesting this. Yeah, Ondo is now retesting this, and we don't seem to be actually breaking above. Yeah, Ondo does look like Ondo. People that talk to me in chat might know Ondo is my favorite coin by far. Like I have a lot of it in this coin, and I really like the project. But unless we can like break above, this doesn't look too good. This coin is really strong, but we need to actually prove that again and just break above. If we don't break above this, I will consider a short again to at least this piercing. This, as strong as Ondo is, well, it's still its whole coin, right? If we fail to break above, that's a sign of going lower. And that probably means we're gonna go back and retest this area. But I would definitely keep an eye on this, because if we actually do break above, this would be a very good area for spot buys. And I bought on this, I bought more Ondo on this bat, and I have my stop loss to break even for that part that I bought. So it's really just a matter of we need to break above this. If we break above this, it's really good. If we don't, it's essentially just a short. It's like one of the two. But Ondo has like in whatever BTC dumps, like Ondo is one of the strongest coins. So you really want to, if you think BTC is gonna dump, you really just want to look at Ondo and see like where can I bid, because this coin just recovers really fast. Like over here on the war dump, for example, because this dump happened during the war news, right? We Ondo just absolutely shut up by like a lot, right? I think there was a guard here. Was it a shark? Let's see. Oh, it was a butterfly. Yeah. So Ondo, the moment that war announcement came out and like every all dropped like 30%, this coin dropped along with it, dropped 30%, right? But in the days after, it just went absolutely straight to all-time high. Like a ridiculous strength. And Ondo is showcased that on every dump, right? So you can't really see it on the chart, but there was like a massive dump over here and a massive dump over here on every hold. I just can't even see it. So if we reclaim this, I definitely would just want to bid Ondo again, because I think we can still go a lot higher. Yeah, Ondo bounce on the 618 perfectly. Like literally every time. Every time we dipped, right? You just put the 618 on the last low. I think it was you need to take this one forward. You just put the 618 from low to high, right? And it just does that every time. Ondo has been really consistent with like either 618 bounces or 382 bounces. And the 382 is basically like reverse 618, right? Like this coin is really, really strong for that. Another coin I was looking at was Say, and I know people really hate this coin. I personally like it, and we finally got to the level where I want to add significantly. Say is this deep crab over here, from the 886 to the 1.618. We formed a deep crab, and we have a macro bed here on exactly the same area. So I entered this already, but if we reclaim this and go above, I think this is going to be a really good buy. The thing with all of these coins is just that you need confirmation, right? You need BTC to reclaim, you need these coins to reclaim and show strength, and you need ETH to reclaim and show strength. Like ETH, for example, this is a pretty good candle, right? But ideally, you want to just close above this as well. And we do have some fundamentally good news coming up for ETH, right? Like we have the we have the ETFs coming up, and we have like those are going to bring a lot of inflows, and BTC dominance should go down as like news about BTC goes up. So for example, a lot of institutions are like selling BTC, right? If they only sell Bitcoin, theoretically that is going to eventually outweigh like the selling on alts, because they're selling BTC directly, while Ethereum is going to have an ETF with extra inflows. So theoretically, that should help BTC dominance a lot, which in turn self-reflects on it and helps ETH a lot as well. So I think ETH's going to have a very good time with the ETFs coming up, and with BTC dominance potentially dropping a lot. So I think as long as we this is our average on the play, right? You can't see it because the ticker is in front, but this is our average on the long. So ideally, we just want to stay in this until the ETF inflows happen, and we want to target at least range highs. So I think ETH is gonna do really well, but it just needs time. And to showcase that, right, there are a lot of harmonics on ETH. Like this chart is probably pure chaos, so just look at this area on the right. Like just look at this. There are a lot of harmonics on ETH, like an unbelievable amount. So I think we're gonna do really well. Like we bounced really low, we bounced all the way to the last one, to the old shark PRZ, but I think it's gonna do really well. Okay, so I do have a few other coins I want to showcase, but I've been talking for a while, so I'm curious, do any of you have any coins you want me to look at? Because a lot of alts are at really good prices, so if you want me to look at something, now is a very good time. And I just take something to drink meanwhile. DOT is interesting. Yeah, DOT bounced really hard. The thing about DOT is that the chart is really good. I'm so glad we like took significant profits on it, by the way. ARB, yeah. ARB, I'll look at it, but the same with every coin that's at all-time low is that I want to see it reclaim first. Retire now, yeah. Thanks for being here, Dolphy. It's good having you. The thing with every coin that's at all-time low is you want to see it reclaim first. So you want to see it reclaim the old all-time low, and that's when they become interesting. Until then, I personally don't touch them. But I'll look at ARP as well. But yeah, for DOT went, it didn't invalidate his bet yet. Yeah, so DOT went and touched the bat type 2 as well. Which, this was our old play, which we luckily took profits on. Where's the 618? I should take it from the 886 in this case. Yeah, so DOT's target for the type 2 would be 8.9. I think DOT, because we were in this already, right? So I already have it charted. DOT looks really good. We took so much liquidity over here. Like we just wicked everything out of there. As you can see, because the wick ended like over here, right? And DOT was really strong before the bounce, and I was already green, right? DOT is up like 4% on the day, which is incredible on a day like this. So I'm just waiting for this on DOT. I think we can touch 8.9 easily. Let's look at ARB. Okay, well, it's not exactly an all-time low, right? Because we have this wick over here, like the listing wick. So above listing already. Yeah, I talked about Tia already, and it's on my Twitter as well. I'll just show you the chart real quick. Also long. I'll just show you the chart real quick and just put it in chat. With Tia, I explained that I think this is either bottom or we go a lot lower. The stop loss for that play is like 50% away, so you need to manage your risk. Those are the most important things I talked about. The recording is going to be up as well, so if you miss anything in the end, you can just like watch it back later. Okay, so for ARB, I'm gonna actually I'll just do a full top down on ARB, right? Because we haven't actually like broken the all-time lows yet, so it could potentially be in a good area. So whenever I do the full top down, I start with fibs just for visuals. Let's see, standard fibs. These are missing something. We should have updated them. Yeah, this is everything. Okay, let's see. So all-time low to all-time high. What did we bounce off of? We bounced off the 0.9412. For everyone that doesn't know, this is the square root of 886. That's why it's an important level. It's not just random gibberish. Let's see. Yeah, I do think we have an alt bet going on here, but it is quite low. So let's see. Yeah, it's actually a 0.5, so we can't make an alt bet out of that. I can make a shark though, actually. I think that's a shark. Yeah, that's a nice shark. Okay, so we bounced off of this shark, and I didn't actually see that before. That's why it's important to like rechart things every now and then. Yeah, AVEX front run my orders again. Like I still have AVEX order at 21, and they just got front run again. Like it is what it is at this point. So essentially for sharks, which is kind of sad always, but for sharks you want to target a 0.5. Because every 0.5 on a shark forms a 5-0, and a 5-0 is a short, in this case. So I'll draw the 5-0 as well. I actually make the 5-0 red. Oh, that's not visible. Let's see. I actually make the 5-0 red so you can more easily see what I mean, because 5-0 is very yeah, the stop loss for this would be way too high. That's annoying. Okay, so I would essentially take this as a stop loss. Just take this bearish order block here. Yeah, I think that's a good you can even enter over here. Where's 0.5? The 0.5 is over here. Yeah, I think this would be ARB looks good off of the shark. So the shark technical stop loss would be really far down, right? Would be like over here. But we would essentially just put a stop loss below all-time low. Maybe even make it a soft stop in case we just wick there. The lowest point you want to see it actually bounce is over here. So this would be the perfect 103. But I don't think we ever get there. This might as well be bottom for ARB, honestly. So on a macro time, like on a macro time frame, this looks really good, honestly. Like ARB looks a lot better than I thought. Then if we go on a lower time frame, we'll start on the daily. On a lower time frame, this chart looks horrible. I don't think there's actually anything here. Let's see. I don't think there is a single harmonic on this entire low time frame chart. That's incredible. I have to go even lower. Yeah, ARB has actually just been dumping. Like nothing more, nothing less. It's actually just going down. You can see that because it's not even forming proper price action, right? It's just going down. Like, it's kind of incredible, honestly. Yeah, this is gonna be like a 3 point something extension as well, right? So we might have an anti-pattern or something here, but I don't actually trade those. Yeah, I don't think there's anything here. On a lower time frame, this looks bad, like really bad. You could take like a higher time frame play over here. Like if you like the token, I think the high time frames look fine. But I'm personally not gonna do it because there's better coins out there, in my opinion. Like I would rather buy a coin that either has better structure like Ondo or what's it called, better fundamentals like Link, or a better price action like Tia. Like someone like that where it's just heavily discounting. Yeah, sitting on your hands is not bad with this one. As I said, like the true higher time frames, like it doesn't look that bad, honestly. Because you do have the shard going on, and we reacted really heavily, so we can just go up here. Doesn't look that bad. So that's it for ARP. Let's see. Super. What is super? They always have these like random coins I've never heard of. What is this? Brother. You have to start looking at better coins, man. Wait, what is all-time high is like 4.7. That's like a fill kind of chart. There you go on this chart and you just see this. It's like okay, let's chart this. Okay, so I think I'm gonna have to take this volume because there's nothing else possible. That is not a 0.5. That is not a 0.618. Okay, wait. It's 0.1 bounce. I mean, we kind of have a shark going on, but the shark is like, it's like really forgiving in cases like these. So I wouldn't actually fully count this. If you ever wonder why I don't charge sharks that often, it's because sharks are really forgiving with their ratios. So you will find them on a lot of charts. Some pros on my city tell me to invest on some coins, and then these are one of them. But if people, and this goes for like everywhere, right? I think for most people it would just apply to Twitter. If people suggest you buy a coin and it looks like this, it's super likely that they're just going to use you as exit liquidity. Because this is not a regular chart. This is not healthy price action. If a coin is just doing something like this, right, that's good. Like even Pyre, for example, because Pyre is like a gaming token, right? I don't like gaming tokens, but Pyre at least has price action. Like if I go to Pyre, Pyre is at least doing things. Like you can see price action, right? It's like doing regular things. It's not just going flat in a long time and then just shooting up. Like even like this, we took the highs, took the lows, took all of the liquidity, and then just formed structure up. You know, we did the same thing. We took the highs, we took the lows, and then we went up. And now we did the opposite. Took the lows, took the highs, and we went down. So even though I wouldn't actually take a play on this because I don't like the coin, right? You can see it on the arrow because I did like charts before. I don't actually like the coin, but like I can see why people trade this. But for example, Super, yeah, like it's going like this, and then it just goes up. That's how you break it, especially because I know you told me that you're a bit newer to trading, right? I think before you actually want to buy tokens other people are suggesting, that should just go on like a weekly time frame or something. and look at, like, does this price actually look natural? Like, can you like see this on the chart, right? Can you see the movements? Because I can't see any movement here. It's going to the right in a straight line. Like it just died and went up. That's essentially how you can, like, because you just don't have a reason to trade this over healthy price action. Like even like SHIB, for example, right? SHIB looks very similar, but you can see some price action. That's like a very general and good way to look at things. So Pyre. Let's see. Alright, I'll turn look at super trades. So before I chart this, even if it looks good, I'm gonna say stay away from the coin. It's not good to trade this. And with that said, let's see. This is a 618. No, barely. This is essentially a 382 though. The bet would be over here. I'll take it as a 618, honestly. It looks good enough. So the 618 will be over here. Yeah, okay. I think the 618 looks good enough. Gonna make this one clear because I don't think it's not relevant enough to make it colored in. I think this is good enough. I would essentially just play this guardly if I wanted to play it. If you wanted to play this, you would take this. Stop loss would be here, which is like impossible. That's also a problem with charts like this, right? Like you can't put your stop loss anywhere. The DCA would be over here, like on the 886. A target would be 618, which is like 618 is like over here. Something like this. I do think we go up rather than down. Unless you see something like this happening and we retest this, the 707 over here. If we see a bearish retest on this, so if we go on the 4 hour, if we start pushing until the 707, and then we go down, I would probably just short it down to the 886. But I can't tell it in advance, right? Because this does look like an important SR level, so you can either short the 707 or you can long the Guardly if you wanted to play this. Okay, I think the next one was Pyre. You know what? Pyre actually, I think, took all of the liquidity. Okay, never mind, we didn't. I mean, we kind of went below. Let's see, what's the difference? I mean, we kind of went below and wicked it. I think that's probably why it like shot up so hard, right? We wicked like every single low. Like, we took all of the liquidity and we're just putting in a massive SFP now. Yeah, we went up by like 16% on the day. It's incredible. Okay, so Pyre doesn't look too bad. But as you can see, there's not really much you can long. Like, you can't really long or short this because there's not really any price action over here, right? So, what I would wait for on Pyre. Pyre doesn't look too bad. There's a shark over here as well. I'm not gonna draw it because there are too many sharks, right? Oh, I'll draw it actually. But there's a shark over here as well. What I would look for on Pyre is for us to start forming some kind of actual consolidation. And for us to like essentially do something like this, right? Just form like some sort of harmonic or form like a small range we can break out of. And then when we form that, you just long that. So I don't think you can long it right now, but I think it's possible to long it in the future. Because we took so much liquidity over here. Like, all of this liquidity is just gone, right? So I think Pyre did become a lot interesting with that. A lot more interesting. It doesn't look too bad now. Because we completely, like, we went to all-time low and we rejected it, right? So people do want this coin. Like, it's kind of alive. So that's a really good sign. Player doesn't look too bad. Let's see, AVAX. Yeah, I mean, this chart makes me depressed, honestly. I have one more orders to get filled. I think AVAX looks good, but we keep front-running more orders. It's a sad part. I should have maybe put them a bit higher. Let's see. Because we tapped like the middle of this order block exactly. But I wanted to enter on the 786 because we have 3 different harmonics aligning on that 786. I think that maybe that was a bit too greedy. We'll see. I'm still gonna bid AVAX at 21. Like 21 is still really good for AVAX. And I still think we can get it. 21 is a really good level for AVAX because we have this like there's used to be an important resistance level, right? And we actually have a chance, like we just turned it into support. So having so many harmonics and then having so many harmonics aligned on the exact same spot as that support resistance level is really good. And I've shown this to a few people, but AVAX bounced exactly off that 618. So my AVAX target would be 83. I think AVAX can easily go to 83 this cycle, for sure. And I was sure that at 83, but I think we go there. So I think in general, if you're looking at it on a higher time frame, yeah, it's a good place to buy AVAX. AVAX is pretty cheap right now. If you look at it on a lower time frame, I think we can maybe get 21. Like maybe, but it's starting to look like we're gonna front run it as well, right? So it's like kind of hard to judge. But I think we can front run it. I think we can maybe get it. BTC in the meantime, since we're talking, this looks really good. Yeah, we're well above this. We're well above this now. It's really good. What I want to see on the 4 hours, like some sort of us like reaching above and then forming a higher low here, and then we just long it on the retest. I think BTC looks good. Yeah. For the people that missed it, I think BTC looks good if we close above the bad speed point, which was like 56.5 or something. And I want USDT dominance ideally to close below the 618. But I think in general, like, because I marked this in advance, right? I marked this as a buy zone. I think in general, we have some pretty good orders. Because we have ETH going on, right? Closer this morning, they reopened on the sport reclaim. So we have ETH going on. We have FTM going on. FTM looks really good as well. Should probably look at FTM as well because I think FTM is at like a really important area. Our FTM average is like 3907, right? Which is nearly bottom. We got a really good entry on this one. FTM on a macro point of view is at such a good level. Like we have a massive bet and we have a massive guardy like in the exact same area. And I think FTM is a really good example of what I talked about on stream, where if you lose the B point on a bet, so that move, if you lose the B point on a bet, because we lost it here, right? We lost it here. You lose it and you just go down to the D point. It's called a magnum move for a reason, right? Like if you lose a B point on a bet, it is really likely to just go down to the D point. Which is I called FTM stink bits because I didn't want to properly scare anyone because at the time it looked really likely for us to stay in the range. But like FTM is such a good spot. Like I'm really glad we got these stink bits in. And for AVAX, by the way, can get 0.39 again. I don't know, honestly. I think it heavily depends on BTC. Because you can imagine if Bitcoin starts reclaiming and going up, right? We will probably just go to the TPs, at least for the first one. But if it doesn't, then yeah, we will probably get it again. We will probably get a bit lower as well. We'll probably get 370 or something. So I am not sure we do. Yeah, because like the deep card would be all the way over here. I'm not sure if we actually get that. And I'm not even sure if I want FTM if we start going this low, for example. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think we could. Like because keep in mind, Blue, the original entry, because we had 3 DCS fill, right? The original entry was like over here. Technically, we are still at a good entry point. If you like zoom out, like the last P is 0.9, and the what's it called, the 382 for this move, because it's all the way at the top, right? The 382, so our first target is 0.7. Like the first technical target is 0.7. If you look at it on a higher time frame, FTM is still in a pretty decent spot to load in. But we might go lower depending on BTC. So if you do want to enter, you just enter lightly, and you just either see your small bear go up, which is fine, right? You're making profit, or you go lower and then you get the entry you actually want. I think FTM is in a good spot. What would you enter for spot? I think I made like a full list, right? I made a full list somewhere. I'll just screenshot that. Right. Where is it? Where is it? I made a full list. This is the list. This is everything I bought. I bought Sei, Ondo, Tia, Rio, Pro, P, Eve, FTM, Rose, Fed, and RDR. Why did I buy these? Sei, High Conviction. Ondo, High Conviction. This is Recompound. Tia, because I think the Burj Khalifa is done. I think we finished the tower. Yeah, if I were to, I'll just put it in chat. If I were to choose like a few of them, because this is my entire list, right? Excluding Bitcoin and Sol, because I do have Sol, and Link. I have Sol and Link that are on this list, and obviously Bitcoin. Excluding those three, my highest conviction are FTM, Ondo, Sei, and Tia. And I really, really wanted to buy Aave, because I think Aave is gonna like perform really well. But yeah, the market makers don't like me, so they front run my ads. No, not in that order. Number 1, Ondo. Number 2, FTM. Number 3, Tia. Number 4, Sei. Yeah, like that. But that's for like all the altcoins, right? Like whatever I say, okay, Ondo is higher than Bitcoin and Ethereum because Ondo just grew so much. But when I put it in, like Bitcoin and Ethereum are at the top of my spot list. Because those are simply the coins you can invest the most in without like proper risk, right? Because you know that if you invest in Ethereum right now, you might look for smaller returns than let's say WIF, right? You're not gonna get WIF's kind of returns where it's just gonna go to like $10 in a cycle potentially in just 5x. That's not gonna happen. But with WIF, you also have the reason that I mean the risk that maybe it does go back to like 20 cents and you just 90% lose, like you're buying, which you don't want. Like even Bitcoin has this thing where I don't see ETH ever going below 2K again, right? Because why would it? Like ETH has a lot of demand. I don't see it going below 2K for a significant amount of time. So you don't have that much risk with ETH, so it's easier to invest a lot in it. And for ETH, I'm looking at like, I think I made this macro chart a while ago, right? Is it this one? No, that is my laser chart. Yeah, this one. My final ETH target is 7.3K. My first and most realistic target is 6K. I think ETH can easily go to 6K this run. So that's why number 1 on my list will always be ETH and BTC. Like always. And because I think diversification is very important as well. So I say this almost every stream. But I also have a heavy bag in both SPX and in gold. And in gold I have it like physical, right? I don't have the like I don't have this one. It was Aux, right? No, what's the ticket for gold? What did I forget? Gold. Whatever. I own this. I don't own this, I own it physical, right? Because it's diversification. Like I want risk on assets. Yaxao. I don't know why I forgot to sell. What? Yeah, it's whatever. But I want it for diversification, right? So I want risk on assets. So I want crypto. So I want like for crypto I have like my active spot portfolio where I just trade like altcoins essentially. I have my long-term back where I trade like where on the top of the list are just Bitcoin and Ethereum. I want stocks as well for diversification, but I don't actually trade stocks a lot, right? So I have some Nvidia, but my heaviest bag is an SPX. It's just the S&P 500, right? And to hedge against all of that, if let's say like a war breaks out or whatever, well, if a war breaks out, all of your assets are going to go down. But there's one asset that's going to go up in worth, which is gold. Like gold is always going to go up if war breaks out. So that's why I have gold as well. Like diversification, like that is really important. And it doesn't have to be in the way I did it, right? But I do recommend everyone to like also look at other things. Like if you trade a lot, you might want to have something a lot more stable. Like you might want to have some more fiat currency, or you might want to have some gold or silver or whatever. Or do you store physical gold? You buy golden coins. Yeah, I just buy gold coins. Like I just have. It's very ironic. I actually just have a treasure chest. Like I have a treasure chest with gold. It's like a pirate. Yeah, that's how I buy gold. Like I don't have like gold bars obviously, but I have like I just have golden coins. That's why. What about stocks Nvidia? Well, I have Nvidia. But you can't actually like you cannot realistically enter this thing. That's the problem with Nvidia. Like where are you gonna enter? Like Nvidia is obviously like an incredibly good asset, but where are you gonna buy Nvidia? Like where are you gonna enter? It's actually just going up in a straight line. You don't have an entry place. And it's not the same with the SPX where well, the SPX is just gonna keep going up. Which is like whenever people ask me to chart the SPX, right? Because I get that question a lot. I just send them the same chart over and over again. I actually just go on the monthly. They can see the arrow, and it's actually just stocks go up. Because it just goes up. But an individual company, well, it might go down. Like Nvidia might go down in the future. Did you talk about BAM? Yeah, I talked about it short, but I can go over it again. But yeah, I do have Nvidia. I have some other stocks as well. Like I have Baba. Is my entry. I'm like kind of down on it, but I don't really care. Because I'm not looking to buy or sell it anyway. I'll only sell it if it goes below this, or I will, or like somewhere up here. I have Tesla, which is doing really well. Like Tesla, I don't know why, but it's doing really well. But I literally just bought this because, well, I think they're like rebranding into AI or whatever, and you saw it with Apple where if a company just puts AI in their product, it's just gonna go up. So that's why I bought it, and I bought it like somewhere over here. There's a bunch of harmonics over here as well. There's like a butterfly over here, and there's a Guardi over here. And I have this one, ASML. This is a chip manufacturer. ASML, what's it called? They make like they have the machines that make chips for companies like Nvidia. So this is one I entered along with Nvidia to see which one would outperform. I think if you wanna enter Nvidia, I personally think ASML is better because NVIDIA is just going up in a straight line, and NVIDIA is getting more competition, right? But ASML doesn't have that much competition the same way NVIDIA has. Like Intel, I think it's INTL, right? INTC, yeah, it's INTC. I mean, Intel doesn't look that bad, but I want to buy it over here. Because I've already taken, I don't take profits on SPX, by the way, but I've taken some profits on other like stocks, and I want to buy it. I want to buy Intel over here, but it's not getting to the level. Like, I'm just waiting for this. I have orders at like 29, and I have a DC at 24. So I'm waiting for this to happen. But until then, I don't know. But Intel is like really down because their processors suck, right? Like, they're really bad. Like, they stopped selling actual processors, and they started selling like room heat warmers. Because like the thermos and those things are absolutely horrible. Yeah, I don't actually, that's because I don't trade them. Like, I look at them on a really high time frame, and I just buy the ones that I like. Like, I will never day trade a stock, or I will never like actively trade stocks, right? But I have some stocks that I like, so I just buy them every now and then. Like, for example, I have literally never sold SPX in my entire life, because why would I? But I'm gonna keep buying it. And in 10 years, I'm still gonna keep buying it. And in 20 years, I'm still gonna keep buying it. Like, I don't care about the price either. I'm just gonna buy it. It really doesn't matter. Because that's the thing, right? If you look at this, well, if you looked at this and ask yourself, like, do I want to buy it here? Well, maybe it's not the best time, right? Because it went down after, but it still goes up. So with SPX, I really don't care. I just buy like every year or so. I just buy SPX. Okay, to go back to crypto and BAM specifically, because I got the question. Is SPX ever gonna go down? To answer that question, I recommend you look up how S&P 500 works. Because I genuinely don't think SPX is ever gonna go down without gold going up a lot. If SPX goes down, gold is gonna absolutely skyrocket. So it's like a win-win, right? Because I either make a lot of profit on gold, or I make a lot of profit on SPX. Okay, to go back to the BTC and BAM specifically. What I used on BAM is essentially this thing. I'll post a screenshot in chat, by the way. But the screenshot is in my channel as well, but way more detailed than my channel. So what I talked about on BAM, BAM stands for Bat Action Magnet Move. What you need to know is that it applies to a bat. So I have a bat here, which you can see because if we draw X to A to B, which is our lowest point here, significant low to a significant high, and then a significant low again, you can see that this is a 0.5 retracement. 0.5 retracements fit a bat. I just go to the highest high. This is about an 886, nearly exactly. And if we have a 0.5 and an 886 over here, our bat completes at the 886. That is a bat pattern. I'll put a cheat sheet over here again. Bat pattern. There it is. These are the ratios. The most important difference between a bat pattern and every single other harmonic pattern, because other harmonics don't do this, which is really important to know. Only a bat does this. That's why it's called a bat action magnet. Is if you have a bat and you draw a straight line from the B point, this is your BAM line. If you lose the B point on an uncompleted bat and you fail the retest, there's a very high chance that you're gonna go to D. What is your D target in this case? 42.5. It's as simple as that. That is why I closed like ETH this morning and why I reopened it on the claim of sport. Because I wanted to be cautious because, well, our target, if we close below this, is 42.5. And that's why I want to be cautious with it, right? Yeah, it might look scary, But if you think about it, the idea of 42.5 is scary because you don't know when it's going to happen, right? But putting it like this gives you a very easy validation or invalidation on it. You just don't want it to retest. As long as we don't retest this, like if for example now we see a close here, we go back and we completely reject it and then go down. As long as that doesn't happen, you're fine. And if it happens, you can see it happening and you can just act accordingly. You can like open shorts and sell your spot. You just sell your short-term spot positions and open shorts. And if it doesn't happen and you see this B point reclaimed, that means we're going to go up again. Like, it's as simple as that. It actually just works with triggers. Triggers are incredibly important in any style of trading, right? I obviously know my triggers the best in harmonics, but every style of trading has these triggers. So you need to know them and act accordingly. So I am not in any leverage positions right now, right? Like, said it a few times, but we're in FTM spot, we're in Ethereum spot. And I personally have a lot of other spot positions. I called T on my Twitter, for example. But we're in FTM spot and we're in ETH spot. We're in no leverage positions. If we reclaim this B point, I'm going to open leverage positions again. Just going to wait for proper setups and I'm going to open some setups again. If we don't, and we go below and we retest, I'm also going to open positions and I'm going to open shorts instead. So you now have this very distinct trigger where you literally just draw a line from the B to the right. You now have a trigger. If this happens, we go lower. If this happens, we go higher. So you're essentially removing this kind of mystery from price action where you're just like, well, it might be scary to go to 42.5. But if you're actually prepared, and if you have funds, and if you have shorts open, 42.5 is an absolute blessing. Because you imagine how cheap the prices are going to be. Like, imagine actually being able to buy. Like, let's say Ethereum, right, is at 3K now. Let's say we actually drop like 25%. And we're just gonna, what's it, like 1500 to 750, so we're gonna go to like 2250 or something. Imagine being able to buy Ethereum at 2250. Like, that's incredible. So you now have this trigger, well, if this happens, I'm gonna prepare for that. And if it doesn't happen, I'm gonna prepare for higher and have my spot positions ready. So yeah, it might be scary, but looking at it as objectively as possible, you can make use of both. Technically, the best thing for you to happen is for actually this to happen and for it to go to 42.5. Because that means you get the cheapest prices, which means you have the most room for growth. But technically speaking, you want it to go down. But that's the most important part, right? Just set yourself triggers. Validations, invalidations, everything. Just make sure you know what's going to happen and act accordingly. And if you're wrong, well, so be it. Like, for example, I said it multiple times, I don't think we break this range. That's what I said, like, multiple times. I said this really often because I truly thought so, right? I said I don't think we break this range. So I longed here. I took profits, got stopped at break even, and I signaled multiple times. I want to long this again if we get the trigger. I gave myself the trigger, which was an RSI reclaim over here, right? We touched this PRZ over here. I wanted to see the RSI reclaim above on the 8 hour. And if that triggered again, I would have longed. It didn't happen. I didn't long. That's why triggers are important. You need to have conditions where if this happens, that's when I buy. Or if this happens, that's when I sell. Because that's when you make trading objective rather than trading on emotions. Because emotions are the things that make people lose money. Like, very, like a kind of dumb theory, right? But there's a reason why a lot of analysts don't actually have their candles on red and green. And for that exact same reason, in some Asian countries, red and green are the opposite. So candles that go up will be red, and candles that go green will be going down, because you don't want emotions to affect you. So that's why my candles are in black and white, right? And they found, for example, some Asian countries that when they turned around the default settings on the candles, that people would on average simply make more money. Which is very, very like stupid idea, right? Because it's pure psychology and it shouldn't actually happen. But like you need to disconnect your trading from your emotions. So this, for example, because the harmonic system, even though the name doesn't suggest it, the harmonic system is like really, really objective. Like as long as this 8-hour RSI didn't reclaim the 30 level, I couldn't long because the system told me don't long. And if it reclaimed, all of the conditions were met, and that's where I would have longed. And that would have given me, because macro bets have like an 80% win chance, right? It would have literally given me an 80 to 20% odd to have like at least 2 RR. Which is a very systematical approach, right? And that's why like every month, you will see me have between a 70 and 80% win rate. Because that is simply the win rate that my system has. And it's very consistent. It's very, very systematic, and that's a very good sign, right? That's what you want eventually. You just want to be consistently having positive odds and consistently have the small edge over the market. And not trade emotional, right? Because yeah, if I have a lot of spot right now, 42k is scary as fuck. Because like that is so far down, like also gonna absolutely nuke. But as long as I keep it objective and I tell myself, yeah, if we retest this line, that's when I sell everything, it becomes a lot less scary and it becomes an opportunity instead of, well, I'm gonna lose all of my money if this happens. It becomes an opportunity to make more. All right. I think I have time to look at like 1 or 2 more coins and I'm gonna call it. So first want to type a proper coin and gets it looked at. Any suggestions? That. That's actually a good one. Yeah. I'll look at that. That is good. Like really good. I'm just gonna remove these lowest time frame ones real quick. I'm not gonna look at Pepe. Like, yeah, I know. It's like the Chinese Pepe. I saw it. It's a funny coin. Okay, Fed. Why I'm saying this looks good is because this is an absolutely beautiful guardian. Like we have this guardian here on top of a demand zone, and okay. The reason I think Fed is incredibly underpriced. And the reason why I think so is for one simple reason. The amount of people that were in chat that and like in every server, right? And in Twitter, etc., that sold their coins because it got because like quote unquote Fed is getting delisted is incredible. Like Fed is not getting delisted, it's merging into ASI, right? Fed will literally get a 1-1 conversion rate on ASI, and that's why AGIX and Ocean are red here, right? They got delisted. It will become ASI. This coin is incredibly undervalued. And that's why it's like kind of a theory, right? But I've seen it happen so many times that I started to actually like believe it. Macro Godlies like this, front run news. Well, we have a Macro Godly, we're at an important level. We even know what the news is. The news is the merge. So yeah, I bought a good amount of Fed here. I'm in Fed from 1. And I'm expecting us to at least test like the 382, which is somewhere over there. It's a bit higher actually. I'm expecting us to at least test the 382 over here. And after that, the 618. That's like my very... Those are like my first targets. I think Fed's gonna do really well. Do you think it's wise to buy the second it's listed again? If you're scared of the merge, which is very viable, right? I don't know what the merge is going to do either. If you don't want to buy it before the merge, I suggest that you buy like a small amount before the merge. Like you buy like 30% of your allocation or whatever. You just buy a small amount, and then after the merge, you just wait for price action to form. Oh yeah, you trade on Bluefin, yeah, I got removed. Yeah, no, that sucks. That is... But did they remove the spot pair as well? because a lot of exchanges are delisting the perps. But by the way, don't leverage trade this. You cannot leverage trade it. Because the perps are getting delisted. The perps are actually getting delisted because that's how perps work. So if you want to buy FET, you need to buy it spot. Yeah, they probably won't list it fast enough. You have a good point. Maybe you can buy it on chain. I don't know which chain FET is on. It's probably ETH, but maybe you can buy it on chain and just put it on a ledger. No, you can't ledger it actually. You'll have to merge it yourself because they kind of have like a merger online, right? Yeah, alternatively, you can either buy it directly after merge, but that's pretty risky. If you want to buy after the merge, I suggest waiting a bit and waiting for price action to form, because you don't actually know how the merge is gonna affect the price directly. I just know that I think FET is at an incredible buy zone right now, so I wanna take that risk, and I have 50% allocated. I will buy the other 50% after merge most likely. Yeah, and a very important thing about FET, even if you don't like the coin and you don't want to hold it, AI has like a massive narrative for it, right? And these 3 AI coins, of which FET was already one of the biggest AI coins, right? They're all gonna merge. The market cap is actually gonna get added on top of each other. Everyone that had the tokens and was trading AJAX, Ocean, or FET is now gonna be trading ASI. ASI is gonna have a high market cap and a lot of volume and a running narrative for it. ASI is gonna be a really good token to trade. Like, I'm gonna look to trade ASI a lot. Even if I might not even hold it in the future, right? But I'm gonna trade it a lot because this token has like so many good parts about it that it's gonna be so good for trading. So in short, I'll just share this chart. This is the technical stop loss, by the way. I'll just share this chart. This is FET. 100 at 185, yeah, and I think like 185 isn't even that bad, right? That's kind of bad. At least it's like a support level. Like, at least it's somewhere over here. And I think it's gonna go higher than that either way, so it's whatever. But yeah, in general, I think FET's at a good spot to buy. You know what? Actually, yeah, after the class, I am just gonna make like a massive post on my channel and just list all of the spot coins that I think are really good. My like highest conviction ones right now are Sei. Sei is in an incredible spot. You can just see the candle forming. Like that's like a massive hammer candle. I think Sei is really good. I think Tia is really good. And Tia is risky. You need to keep that in mind. I think Aave is really good. Yeah, if you want to buy Sei, just buy it on chain, honestly. Sei is really easy to bridge, and it has like no fees to get there. Same for Tia. Blue in general, if you want to buy Cosmos tokens, Cosmos is really easy to use on chain. So you can just use an on chain wallet and put it on a ledger. No, I'll know some Bluefin. For sure, right? I think they have it. But in general, Blue, for Cosmos tokens, just download like Kepler Wallet or Leap Wallet. Ship it through Atom, because every exchange has Atom, right? And just like send it over. Like all of the Cosmos wallets have like a swapper built into the wallet itself, so you don't even need to connect to a site or anything. You just bridge it directly to the chain, and it works for like Tia, for Injective, for what's it called, for Sei, for DYDX, for like whatever. There are a lot of Cosmos tokens. Ondo and Bluefin is futures only. That's sad actually. I guess if you want to hold on to this, but you need to do it on ERC. Yeah, FTM is good as well. Yeah, the last one to the list was Aave. Aave, for the people that don't know, is like a lending protocol, right? And they are like expanding to a lot of other systems and doing a lot. And the price actually is good. I really like this coin for fundamental reasons, and for this reason. Aave BTC is my favorite chart, like in general. This chart is absolutely incredible. Yeah, Phoenix has it as well, but I think Phoenix is banned in Blue's country because he's in like Singapore or something, right? So they banned a lot. But I think Aave is gonna be like, I'm literally just waiting and slowly accumulating this. I think Aave, the moment we break out of this wedge, we're just gonna absolutely bomb. I really like his soak. It's like the same as Maker, right? Maker is like nearly the same protocol. Okay, well, I think that was everything I wanted to talk about. So before I go, are there any questions? Dolphins banned too, yeah. It really sucks, honestly. You can at least like get a fake ID, maybe. Is he shitting again? Yeah, that's the SFP I was talking about. Yeah, that's actually exactly it, right? We went above. We tapped it. We just absolutely rejected. This candle is a really good sign of that. So you can essentially just take the short. That already closed absolutely disgusting. I think you either take the short like this, or you take it like this, depending on how tight you want your stop. You can easily take this as a edge. No, the long on BTC is valid the moment we like break above and then go. It's like we're looking at either of them, right? I either want the long or the short, and I'm just waiting for either of these to trigger. So I'm literally just waiting for a reaction on the bound line. And so far, the short looks a lot better. I'm personally gonna wait for the 4-hour close to get the trigger. But it does look like we're gonna get the short instead. And it does look like we're gonna go lower. We'll see. Yeah, UCT dominance is just rejecting off the HOP. He's gonna do the same probably. He's actually kind of fine. Yeah, he's fine. BTC dominance is just completely nuking down. Yeah, it's gonna be weekend as well. All right, I'm gonna end the stream here, ending the recording as well.